So following on from the previous video, we got to this stage here where I said you can use whichever method you want in order to solve this here. We got to this stage here. Okay. So when you get to this stage here, you're saying that dA by d theta is given by this. So find out when the gradient will be 0. So you've got to set this to be 0 here, and then try and find theta in such a way that this thing here equals 0. Okay, so now this is one way of doing it. One way of doing this is to realize that cos squared theta plus sine squared theta equals 1 here. So if you look at this here, you can rewrite the cos in terms of sine. Okay, so if you look at this here, cos theta, looking at this here, this then becomes, 1 minus sine squared theta equals cos squared theta. So now you can put this into here. So everything will be in terms of sine. So here's sine, sine, sine. Okay, so looking at this here, put 1 minus minus sine squared theta into here. Okay, so that would then give you this, and then minus sine squared, and then this is this here. Okay, so everything is all in terms of sine theta. So now tidy this up. So you've got one block here, you've got one block here, so that becomes 2 blocks. Okay, and then yeah, so this here we tidy up to give you this. And then now using this trick that we used once before in one of the earlier videos. If you look at this here, think of this in terms of So look at the trick is to well, so let me go back one step. So we then set this to be 0. Okay, so it's you trying to solve this. Now turn this into a quadratic. You use that trick we used in the past. So what you do is you let sine theta equals x. So you can imagine this as being a quadratic here. So this is like one thing here, and this is squared here because there is a squared in here. Okay. Well, it's like you doing this. It's like you solving this. 0 equals 1 minus 2x squared here, and then minus x squared. So looking at this here, you can translate this into a quadratic equation if you like. So this is like your x here. This is like your x squared here, and then so in a way it's like you turning this thing into a quadratic equation. And just concentrate on making this thing here this here turn it into a quadratic equation by letting x equals sine theta. Okay, so that will then give you this. You see, this is too complicated to solve, so we would then translate this into this, and then solve the quadratic equation, and then later turn the x back into theta. This is just a trick that you can use in order to solve something like this here. At the moment, it's too complicated. Turn it into a quadratic. Okay, just concentrate on solving for x for the time being, and then later on we can once we've got x, we can turn it back into theta. Okay, so let me start again. This here, as it stands, is too complicated to solve. Turn it into this. Okay, so now use whichever method you want here to solve this quadratic equation here. Okay, so looking at this here, divide everything by minus 2. That will then give you this, and then your eyes should zoom into these two terms. You're always going to need half of this, and then take away the rubbish, and then carry this down, and then blah blah blah. We've done several videos on this. So blah blah blah, x equals a half. Okay, so what that means is, okay, from earlier we had this. We were trying to solve this. We turned it into this. Okay, so this turns out to be x equals a half. So when you put a half into this thing here and a half into this thing here, then the whole thing here would be 0. Okay, so what that means is that when you concentrate on making this a half and then concentrate on making this a half, then the whole thing here will be 0. So once you've got your x equals a half here, sine theta equals a half. Okay, so we've got our x here. We need to turn it back into theta. So theta equals this is just a trick that we use. As it stands, this thing here is too complicated. Turn it into a quadratic here, and once you've got your x here, put it into here. So this is a half here, and then concentrate on making this a half. Well, this will be a half when you arc sine a half. Well, blah blah blah. Theta equals this. Okay, so overall, the overall theta equals this. This here would be your final answer. Okay.